Let me start. Uh, Being in a company, you have to be on the ground. So this is the whole start of it. The political goal of completing the internal energy market in 2014 is not going to happen. It is going to happen later, but not in 2014, and even at that time, not everywhere in Europe. Hopefully, this is not a surprise. In some areas, smaller or larger steps are happening in the right direction, yes. Unbundling regulations, harmonization of cross-border network codes, some open season trials. In other areas, hesitation or not enough progress. It's infrastructure development, source diversification, legalities. In some cases, there are some leaps, not front but backwards, deteriorating investment climate, diminishing of trust between countries, emerging utopia of self-sufficiency. So that means presently I see a smaller and smaller room for market mechanism creeping, and state control is creeping in. For proper market, we need well-interconnected infrastructure, no administrative obstacles, real market price, sufficient number of market players. I would say exactly these are the conditions that are not met. Let me be more concrete and give the example. Hopefully this will be working. Not this one, then this. Perfect. The vision looks better than this, so which way? Yes, good. Yes. Regional infrastructure situation from a Hungarian perspective. FGS investment in regional infrastructure in the last 2 decades, basically, because previously, if we would have a bigger map, you could be seeing this was a Soviet-type dead-end model, just to bring in gas for the local communities, and at the same time, partially overplanned and with the ratio of 1:6 to summer to winter. The original system itself, just for the audience, was 16 billion cubic meters a year capacity. The maximum it was used was 14 billion, quite some time ago, when on the northeastern part of Hungary was full with heavy industry, and also the power plants were utilizing. It dropped 12, 10 last year, 9 this year. So efficiency, unfortunately, is there. The way forward for us was to make the interconnectors. The first one was started on the western side, the Hungarian-Austrian gas connector, HAG. It's supposed to be a total reverse connection. From the Hungarian side, we have built it out, it's totally. Our dear Austrian friends from the Habsburg Empire, we are a little bit hesitant to utilize the reverse flow concept. So I think for the Commission, European Union, +1. On the northeastern side, where the biggest entry for the Russian gas through Ukraine is, we have an actual reverse flow. It started 2 months ago, and we are, I think, very proud of it that with a country that is presently outside EU, we could manage the reverse flow. With all the others, we have done our homework, so we are white, but the other side is black. With Romania, southeast, we have an interconnector built up. From our side, it is totally reverse. There was a principle, theoretical reverse activity. I would say from the beginning of December, there will be a very limited reverse activity, 10,000 cubic meters an hour, uninterrupted, and 50,000 with interruptions. But I would say that from summertime, the intention from Romanian partner and from the country has changed. It became positive. I could be saying that maybe this was with some small help from the EU or from the IMF, but things are happening. They changed their legislation, and we will be trying to develop this further in January with an open season activity. We are quite optimistic that there will be good bookings, and then the Romanians will be ready to complete their part of the job. Croatia, southwestern part of Hungary. This interconnector has been built, it has been executed. From our side, it's a total reverse activity. Again, the neighbors, they didn't do their homework, so it's a one-sided job presently. However, last winter, if there would have been no pipeline and no interconnector, life in Croatia would have stopped. So that was the pipeline to which for a good 2 weeks we could manage to provide them gas. The completion of this reverse flow, from one hand, the Croatians are saying that they are combining it with the Kirk LNG project. That's one of the things that is mentioned here, that you have to have mega projects. Don't forget, besides the money, it takes 7 to 10 years. This reverse flow could be working with the Croatians. We proposed an addendum to our agreement that we would be ready to increase the pressure and drop the pressure. So the so-called sucking method. And we could be managing it some 3 billion cubic meters a year. And if the proper compressor system is built up on the Croatian side, there is also another southeast corridor concept, Croatia, Hungary, Ukraine. I think that's one of the nice ideas. 7 billion cubic meters from our side could go through our system without any investment, without any activities. So we are very much ready to cooperate. There is one theoretical issue outstanding, the Slovenian connection. Here, since I said I am on ground, I am a company, we do our work if there is economic reality. For the time being, unfortunately, neither side sees economic reality on it, really. Good. So, the benefits of interconnected structures cannot be fully reaped until the developments in one country do not get in synchrony with the developments on the other side of the borders, either in physical capacities or regulatory regimes and commercial arrangements. For us, as I mentioned, this was the way forward. I spoke about the Romanian and the Croatian one. The Romanian interconnector, if we go a little bit further, once it starts working, it would be another new route with not really big investments, starting from Greece, which can be either through Turkey or the Greece LNG, because the Greeks, they are now building the Bulgarian interconnector. The Bulgarian-Romanian is existing. There has to be some pipeline investment in Romania, and it can go. Another concept, it was mentioned south-east, south-north from Croatia. Long discussions. One option that has been worked out, the Hungarian-Slovakian interconnector, the Slovakian-Czech is existing, the Czech-Polish interconnector, and then it could go out. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, if we make this agreement with the Croatians for the pressure increase, which is just a piece of paper, if we make it today, tomorrow, the Croatian-Polish corridor could be working, because in Ukraine there's an existing pipeline system which could be connected. So sometimes, as the Chinese say, the biggest thing in a journey is the first step, and the first step is the smallest part of the whole journey. So if it is planned logistically and you start, it can be done. Regulatory environment, that's very interesting, and the fragmented national regulatory regimes. I would have to here say my compliments on behalf of a company like us. There's a great professional work ongoing under the leadership of the European Commission and ACER, direct involvement of the TSO companies and through NSOG. But it must not be underestimated that how different national regimes are. And until the harmonization actually happens, these obstacles remain and eliminate or discriminate the cross-border flows. Thank you. I think I can stop here, or I could speak another 1 hour or so. So if you just go for the next slide and just 1 second. This slide, the second one, this is the competing source of gases. These are the major projects that have been discussed. Yes. Diversification, as I mentioned, 7 to 10 years. Executions. Sources are there, but even with the existing systems, with some small good intentions, small investments, the southeast corridor and the south-north corridor, it can be done. We are on the good track, and I hope for the best. Thank you.